wall. I have their current photos up on my computer and I have their old photos on the wall so that I can actually see where they are now and where they need to go. Because if you don't have a target endpoint, you're just shooting in the dark. And that's what we're trying to look at. If you look at the lady on the left, she's had a bad chin implant. I've done some lower corrective facial work, a little bit of peel under the eyes, tiny bit of skin removal. And if you look at the volumes, and I did a little silicone lip enhancement, but if you look at her in her mid-30s, is that upper eyelid heavy and low, or is it high and empty? So do you think I should do a brow lift to make her look like that photo at 35? No, it's low and full. So if you start looking at your old photos, you say, hey, I'm actually pretty close to being on the money. Here's a lady 39 on the left, 40 on the right, and if you look at her, she's had a brow lift and eyelid surgery on the left. Does she look rested to you, or does she look still tired? Does that brow look heavy to you? What would you do if she came back to your office today to get that corrected? You would probably do another brow lift and another skin removal. But let's look at her 28 on the top right corner. Is that brow high and empty with a very high sulcus of the crease, or is there a barely perceptible crease to be had? So if you understand, I've actually made that brow less heavy by making it heavier for two reasons: convexity and balance with the mid-face cheek. If you understand that, you have to understand facial harmony and how the whole face works as a dynamic, and I also did a little plasma resurfacing to correct some of the CO2 linear, the line thing you can see on the jawline. Here's a lady here. You know what's amazing with this photo, as surgeons you'll appreciate this, she's on Accutane. Would you touch a patient on Accutane? Would you do a facelift? Would you do a peel? Would you do CO2 laser? Or you think you're going to set up for a lawsuit? I did this whole procedure because there isn't an incision. That's a year after fat grafting. There isn't a cut. And so I can't touch her skin. I can't do anything, but fundamentally filling it is the key zone. Did her lines improve? No. But understand that it's a question of volume. And if you look at the photo on the top right, which I know is not a great lighting and everything, and there's some artifactual elements to it, but you can see the brow was full and the cheeks were full and there's a heart-shaped face, and that's what I'm trying to create. What happens over time? Let's look at a lady over a year. This is a 51-year-old facelift fat grafting at 6 weeks. There is that little bit of edema, that honeymoon swelling, and if you ask yourself, why does a person look good at a short time, like at 3 weeks and 2 weeks after a brow lift, and they don't look so good at 3 months? That's because you needed volume to begin with. I call that honeymoon swelling. Anyone that's had a procedure before me, they go, I liked it for 3 weeks and they didn't like it after that, they get it. They understand why volume is critical, because they had volume for a few weeks. That's 6 months out with no sleep on the right. And she actually was just exhausted. She had less than 1 hour sleep, but she still looks more rested. And that's 14 months out. Again, this is one fat graft. And you can see, where did I put that brow? I put it south. I put it down. I put it low. And if you look at that brow in her mid-30s on the top photo, is it empty and high? What would you do? Would you make the patient's identity changed? Here's a lady at 6 months after upper eyelid fat grafting, facelift, and silicone lip enhancement. And if you look at her, I inverted that triangle. But let's watch her over a period of a year. The wrinkles have even shut down. Now, does that consistently occur? Actually, no. But occasionally it occurs. But usually speaking, when you create the luminosity there, there's brilliance to that skin because it's full and there's light hitting it. But sometimes, which is amazing, if you heard from Coleman as well, sometimes the wrinkles begin to fade. Hold on. And quick things. This is about a year out from fat grafting. If you look, I didn't do any peels for her eyes. I didn't do anything. It just got better. The malar bag has gotten better. I didn't cut it out or anything. And to me, this is exciting. This is a lady here that, if you look at her lower eyelids, they've been hollowed out. She was on antidepressants, they've been pulled down. But this is an interesting story. This is exactly a year and 2 weeks out, and she's not wearing any makeup on the after. And I didn't change the lighting. But there's so much more light that hits that face. It's incredible. And her lower eyelid position has been improved. So what's exciting about this is the other thing is important too, is understanding the artistry. When she came to me, her brows were very heavy and pushed out. This is one of the rare cases where I don't fill a brow. I filled her lower face and I put it into alignment with the brow. And that's what's so fun about this. A facelift is a mechanical exercise. This is art. And this is really a lot of fun. It's like a rhinoplasty. You can shape it the way you like it, and that's the creativity that's so fun. This is a lady that wanted her acne scars, a 56-year-old Korean woman, and I actually should have put up her 1-year photo. This is 9 months out. And at 1 year and at 9 months, the scars have gotten better. And she thought it was some kind of makeup thing. But you know what? The scars have gotten better. I went up close to her skin. They've gotten better. But this is not a consistent thing. If you sell your patient that, hey, fat's going to melt your scars and it's going to do all this fancy stuff, that's bogus. But it can happen, and that's what's exciting about it. And people, you know, I don't do any body work. I only do facial work, but I do the hands with fat. And if you think about it, what gives your age away after you had your whole face rejuvenated? Your hands. And this is beautiful. You can do some work there. So the summary is to rethink everything you know from the ground up. Volume is the key to the understanding of aging, and not necessarily having to throw everything out, you know, the baby with the bathwater. You can still do facelifts, still do blepharoplasties, etc. Okay, that's a book that came out last year, and that's my building.